They are above anything else. So this is the first thing. The second thing, the cartoons, they were about Muhammad. If you read the Quran, you will find clearly that Muhammad is above Allah himself. If you read the Quran, you will find clearly that Muhammad is above Allah himself. All the clerics, they agreed that if somebody criticizes Muhammad or make fun of him, he should be killed. If somebody criticizes Muhammad or make fun of him, he should be killed. And
above Allah.
He's above Allah.
وَدَّ طَائِفَةٌ مِّنْ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ لَوْ يُضِلُّونَكُمْ وَمَا يُضِلُّونَ إِلَّا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَمَا يَشْعُرُونَ أهل الكتاب لم تكفرون بآيات الله وأنتم تشهدون يا أهل الكتاب لم تلبسون الحق بالباطل وتكتمون الحق وأنتم تعلمون.
Now, one thing that I do want to make known is we're talking about the religion of Islam as opposed to the Muslim people, who are wonderful people, true?
Yes. So many Muslims, they are wonderful people. I still have so many friends, Muslims. The majority of my family members, they're still Muslims. And they're wonderful people, they're peaceful, they're loving people. But the problem is with Islam itself. The teaching of Islam, they are violent and terrorism. There is a lot of terrorism there. There's a lot of jihad verses.
Jihad also, there are 3 letters. Jim, had, dan in Arabic, or in English it sounds like JHD. What does it mean? Because jihad comes from it. And that's the origin. It means to struggle and to exert effort. But you have to go beyond linguistics. Just like we did in the case of Islam, to look for more substantive evidence from the primary sources of Islam. It's very convincing to just go beyond that. And indeed we find evidence that jihad, as mentioned in the Quran and Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, appears on 3 different levels: individual, social, and combative in the battlefield. On the individual level, it is a common term to use jihadun nafs, to wage jihad against. Some people think jihad means, violence. Jihad against yourself. What does it mean? Kill yourself? No. Jihad against oneself means jihad against evil inclination within oneself, attempts at tazkiyah, self-purification, reaching out to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is interesting to find that in Surah Al-Hajj, Surah 22, there is a direct connection between an act which is for the Muslim the ultimate expression of humility and peace with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the prayers and prostration, and jihad. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اركعوا واسجدوا واعبدوا ربكم وافعلوا الخير لعلكم تفلحون. And what comes next? وجاهدوا في الله حق جهاد. Jihad is mentioned in the context of individual worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Reference to zakat. جاهدوا بأموالكم وأنفسكم وجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم. Making jihad with their persons and their money, so their wealth. To give money to the poor is a form of jihad. There is a 3rd level, and we should never try to hide anything from Islam. What do we have to hide? What are we ashamed of to hide? Also jihad in the battlefield. That's qital. It could be called jihad, but sometimes also specifically it's called qital also. Under what condition are Muslims allowed to carry arms and use force? Only 2 conditions. And I'd be grateful to anyone who gives me conclusive evidence from the Quran and Sunnah of a 3rd. In the text of the Quran, there are only 2 clearly conclusive grounds for a Muslim to go to the battlefield. Both of those reasons are found in the same section of Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah number 2, from Ayah 190 to 193. 1 is self-defense. What does it say? وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Very clear and precise. Fight in the way of Allah those who fight against you, but commit no aggression, or you can translate transgression, for Allah loves not the transgressors. Legitimate self-defense. A Muslim should not be shy to say there is self-defense in Islam. Not as a right, as a moral responsibility. Because this is your responsibility to defend yourself, your family, your land, your people. No question about it. We have some appreciation of people who are pacifist and say there should be no violence whatsoever. Well, of course we share their objectives, but the reality of mankind is different. So there are occasions where, if Islam indeed is a comprehensive way of life, it should provide guidance to manage conflict just like it manages peace as well. No apology for that at all. All people have done it, all religions have done it. But then the second reason is in Ayah 193. وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. There is a similar ayah in Surah Al-Anfal as well. We come to it inshallah later. Fight them until there is no more oppression. Oppression. And religion belongs to Allah, obviously doesn't mean forcing people, because the Quran said that you can't do it. Ad-Dinu Lillah means people would be free. There is no oppression, especially religious oppression. Anybody who wants to be a Muslim, you can decide on that. You cannot persecute people because they chose to follow one religion or the other. Aggression and oppression, the only 2 conclusive grounds that you find in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
The problem is not with the people, it's with what the teaching of Islam is.
Let's talk about that a little bit, because we hear about the Quran, and many Americans think, well, the Quran is just another version of the Bible.
That's true.
That a lot of Americans think that. Tell us.
It looks like the same the first time because Muhammad was good in copy-paste, you know. He took a lot of verses from the Bible and he put them in the Quran.
Let me challenge you. 75% of the wonderful Quran in my wonderful language of Arabic is from the Bible.
It says, let me challenge you, me or the audience, or all. Let me challenge you. 75% of the wonderful Quran in my wonderful Arabic is from the Bible. You remember that? And he said, he can show it to you now. I said, no, have your patience. He had 75 minutes. He didn't show one example. You see, you know what is to copy, what is to crib, what is to plagiarize, stealing somebody else's literature. Sir William Moyer, he translates this into English. And he writes a preface. He writes a preface to his translation. And he says, it is strange, it's odd, it's unusual, it's extraordinary. It is strange that though the Jewish and Christian scriptures are spoken of throughout the Quran with the utmost devotion, the Quran speaks about the Jewish and Christian scriptures, the Torah, the Zabur, the Injil, with utmost devotion. Only one passage is quoted from them. That's all, only one. Though the Quran is speaking about it, 75% is copied. Says Dr. Sharosh, 3/4 is copied from the Bible. Yet this great man, Sir William Moore, a scholar, he says only one passage is quoted from them. Namely, and he quotes, the meek shall inherit the earth. Look for it. There isn't such a verse in the Quran. The nearest is وَلَقَدْ صَرَّفْنَا وَلَقَدْ كَتَبْنَا فِي الزَّبُورِ مِنْ بَعْدِ الذِّكْرِ أَنَّ الْأَرْضَ يَرِثُهَا عِبَادِيَ الصَّالِحُونَ. Said that we had given to Dawood in the Zabur this message that to my righteous servants will inherit the earth. That is what the Quran says. But this quotation, the meek shall inherit the earth, you find that in Matthew chapter 5 verse 5, where Jesus says, the meek shall inherit the earth. Now you see that in the Bible that our doctor has given me, there are cross-references, and it tells you that this quotation is from Psalms chapter 37 verse 11. That quotation is from Psalms. Jesus says, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. But when you look for it, you find it in Psalms chapter 37 verse 11, word for word. But Jesus didn't give the credit to David. He said, look, I got this from the Psalms. Muhammad is made to say that this is written. He's actually quoting, this is written. He's giving due credit in the Zabur. It is there. And you find that this is what the Quran says. Jesus Christ is actually plagiarizing. If he didn't mention it, if he didn't give credit, he is plagiarizing. He is stealing from somebody else's writing, not Muhammad.
He was good in copy-paste, you know. He took a lot of verses from the Bible and he put them in the Quran.